Good evening and welcome to tonight's lecture about parallel universes. Tonight we're going to speak about the modern view of the existence of parallel universes. We will talk about how our body has the ability to access superior dimensions, and we will share with you an exercise so that you can unfold consciously in your astral body. So let us get started by talking about two theoretical physicists who are professors of physics at MIT. Alan Harvey Guth is an American theoretical physicist and cosmologist. Guth has researched elementary particle theory. He is a Victor Weisskopf Professor of Physics in the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Guth has expressed his belief that our universe is just one of many universes that came into existence among countless others as part of a multiverse. According to his theory, cosmic inflation never ends, but continuous expanding at an exponential rate, with additional universes being created all the time as bubbles within the inflation process. Now let me show you Max Tegmark. Max Tegmark is another professor at MIT. He wrote a technical paper titled Parallel Universes back in 2003. In the abstract of his paper, he says, "I survey physics theories involving parallel universes, which form a natural four-level hierarchy of multiverses, allowing progressively greater diversity." Notice that these are theoretical physicists from the 21st century. Now, let's look at what Samael Aun-Weor was speaking about more than 50 years ago. Samael says, revolutionary scientific Gnosticism goes far into this matter and emphatically affirms the harmonious coexistence of an infinite number of parallel universes. Notice how modern science is slowly starting to speak the same language that has always been taught by this ancient wisdom. So what does universe mean? Universe comes from two Latin root words, uni, which means one, and vertere, which means transformation. So the word universe is indicating that it is the one transformation of the source of all life and creation. And what is contained in the universe? All of space and time and their contents, including planets, stars, galaxies, and all other forms of matter and energy. So there is conversations about many universes and many dimensions. The word dimension comes from the Latin word dimetri, which means to measure. And in our universe, dimensions give us the minimum number of coordinates so that we can find any point in it. Imagine a point in space. A point in space as big as a pinhead that has no dimension. But imagine that you take that point and you drag it across space. Now suddenly you have created a line, and that line is one dimension. Now imagine that you grab that line and you drag it sideways, like you put a chalk on its side and you drag it. Now you have a surface, and that surface is two-dimensional because it has length and width. Now imagine that you take that surface and you lift it in space, and that creates a cube. That is a three-dimensional space because it has length and width and height. Now imagine we take the cube and we expand it even further into the fourth dimension. Now we create a tesseract. Notice how the appearance of the shape has changed. There are many beings who can see beyond the appearance of physical things and can perceive the thing itself. Everyone has the ability to perceive this, but most people are identified to the physical appearance of things in the 3D world, and these mind constructs prevent seeing the ultra. In the fourth dimension, we find time. Eliphas Levi says that time is the cosmic force responsible for the connecting series of events together in their logical sequence. So what is beyond time? Beyond time, there's this fifth dimension, which is the eternity. Beyond the eternity, there is the sixth dimension. This is where the past, the present, and the future come together in the eternal now. And beyond this, there is the seventh dimension, which is the realm of the pure spirit. Let's go over this again. We have the third dimension where we have width, depth, and height. But if we look at the table, we can ask ourselves, when was this table built? Now we have brought up the concept of time. That is the fourth dimension. When we encompass all of the time together, that is eternity. The eternity is the fifth dimension. Beyond the eternity is where all of the past and all of the presents and all of the potential futures come together in a single instant. That is the sixth dimension. Then beyond that, we find the seventh dimension, which is the realm of pure spirit. We placed here a picture of the tree of life. This is a map of your being, and on this map, you can see the dimensions that differentiate each of the spheres. We'll go into this more during another lecture, but for today, we're showing you this from a holistic perspective, that these dimensions are not outside of you, nor are they up above somewhere. They're also not separate. You are a multidimensional being, and they are being expressed through you in all levels simultaneously. So let us expand on the fourth dimension. Samael said more than 50 years ago that the electron microscope dangerously approaches the unknown dimension. That is because time has two aspects. The first aspect is temporal. That is the surface of time, meaning that it is the force that connects the series of events, one after another in a logical sequence. Also, time is spatial. It is the space of a superior order and kind. In other words, this can come in and out of the fourth dimension. Let me give you an example. Samael speaks about the island of Nantrabada, that is also known as St. Brandon's Island. This island used to exist to the northwest of the continent of Africa. There is an interesting story about this island. A priest began receiving accounts of a ghost island. He believed it was demonic. One day he was giving mass and he brought everyone outside and he exorcised the island. The island then faded away and disappeared into the fourth dimension. Now, some of you may think that this is impossible and things just do not disappear like that, but the fact is, the island is not there today. However, it does appear in at least 12 maps from the 13th to the 18th century. So now, why is that? As Samael says that towards the end of the 18th century, humanity started becoming very skeptical, and because of that, the eternal senses that would allow us to perceive these higher dimensions degenerated. Let me give you another example. So we all heard about the Bermuda Triangle. We all have heard the countless events where ships, airplanes, and people have disappeared. We have heard of stories where airplanes have gone in and traveled through time. Now, about this phenomena, Samael had said, we investigated, and there is an open door into the fourth dimension. There are aspects of us that have natural access to these higher dimensions of nature. Our physical body is here in the third dimension, but our physical body exists because we also have a vital body. The vital body is a body made of ether that serves us as a foundation of organic life. The ethereal body influences all of the atoms of the physical body in terms of chemical, biological, physiological processes, and also metabolism and even our perceptions. When the physical body dies, the vital body escapes the physical body. It will then hover around the physical body while it is in the grave. And as the physical body disintegrates, in the same way the vital body disintegrates as well. Different than the physical body, All the cells are replaced by new cells every 7 years or so. The vital body contains all the atoms of our infancy, our childhood, and our adulthood. Then there's the fifth dimension. We all have access in the fifth dimension. It is an innate part of you. This is where we live all of our experiences in the astral plane. Samael says the ghosts of the deceased live within the fifth dimension. The deceased ones are eventually expelled from the fifth dimension. Those souls are expelled from the eternity because they have not fully integrated with the being. They have no vehicles to exist there. When they leave the fifth dimension, what we are saying is that they return back into the third dimension and take another physical body. Samael says we must work first with the molecular matter to fabricate a soul, and later on refine the matter of this soul to fabricate the spirit. That is saying that there are two ways for us to have access to the fifth dimension. The first way is working with our physical bodies and the creative energies that exist within it, transforming what is psychologically inferior in each one of us and fabricating a radiant soul. The second way is by awakening our consciousness and using the embryo of a soul that we carry today. In other words, that is consciously utilizing the essence to move consciously from one dimension to the next. This is why Samael says that we must develop the ability to unfold out of the physical body at will. This is the phenomena of astral unfoldment. In our astral body, we can walk into the realm of the dead. We can visit other worlds within the infinite space. We can invoke loved ones who have crossed the threshold of death. We can explore into the mysteries of life and death. We can invoke angels to hold face-to-face conversations, and we can also learn about our previous existences. So do you see now how wonderful this is? You have the opportunity to learn about your past lives and understand the circumstances of your current life. You also have the opportunity to contact great masters, Buddhas, angels, and learn directly from them. Now, while the physical body is at rest, that unfolding in your astral body is natural, and it happens whether you realize it or not. This is so because the lunar solar cannot remain in the body while the physical body is asleep. As the physical body sleeps, the vital body has the function of restoring and regenerating the physical body. It sets into function accumulated forces. For example, during the day, the hepatic plexus of the liver captures solar energy. The functions of the vital body extract of that energy, and it passes it on to the solar plexus, and that in turn routes it through the different channels of the autonomous nervous system. To astral unfold is very simple. We do it every single night when the physical body rests. What we want to do is learn how to consciously unfold our astral body. Let me share with you this story from Samael. So in this story, Samael tells us that he arrives in some town late at night. He was looking for a hotel, a place where he could sleep, but everything was full. There was no vacancies. He was fortunate enough that he found the last available bed in a hostel. As he was laying down, he noticed that another visitor had arrived. He had begged the owner to just let him sleep on the floor, and the owner agreed. Samael was observant and noticed the man fell asleep, and almost immediately a gray cloud seeped out of the man's body. The cloud took the form and assumed a vertical posture in the form of the visitor. Samael says, "He looked at me and he walked out of that room so normally." So unfolding in the astral body is a normal process, but to do it consciously, we cannot identify with the physical body. We have to comprehend that we are a soul. We are fluidic, vaporous, and light as a feather. And when observing the transition out of the vigil state, we should utilize our willpower and get up off of our bed and walk outside. So here's one of the many astral unfoldment keys you can use to learn how to consciously unfold in your astral body. This is a prayer that we say, asking our Divine Mother to help us. This prayer goes like this: I believe in God. I believe in my Mother Nature. I believe in white magic. Divine Mother, take me out of my body. Amen. We can say this prayer thousands of times, beginning out loud and then transitioning into pronouncing it silently. In this practice, you want to relax and remain concentrated, not forgetting your being or identifying with other thoughts from the day. As we are concentrated and relaxed while saying this prayer, there will be this transition from vigil state into the astral plane. Continue to repeat the experiment every night until you're successful. So again, we say this over and over again, repeating, I believe in God. I believe in my Mother Nature. I believe in white magic. Divine Mother, take me out of my body. Amen. I believe in God. I believe in my Mother Nature. I believe in white magic. Divine Mother, take me out of my body. Amen. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We wish you every success. May all beings be happy, joyful, and at peace.